not even intrusion. Ah, hello, my friends, and welcome to the Basement Sublet of Horror. I am your host, Gunther Dedmund, back with you again, and this week, I'm totally broke and I'm totally out of food. So, I'll tell you what, I've got an idea what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on a food safari. What do you think? Ah, yes, a food safari sounds fun. Anyway, tonight's movie will be The Bloody Pit of Horror. Yes, I've been saving this one for you. Oh boy, Bloody Pit and Horror. Oh, it sounds wonderful to me. Oh, by the way, if you like models and torture, well, boy, do we have a movie for you. Anyway, it was directed in 1965 by Massimo Popolo. You remember him? He's the famous director who directed those other films. Anyway, so I'm going to go off and... Oh, everything's empty. I'm going to go off and start looking for food, and you go off and watch the movie.
Where does it start? What are the signs? The pattern is generally the same. Take a lack of responsibility, the inability to make right choices, add to it ignorance and indifference, and top it off with a desire for escapism and kicks. The sum total is then conceivably found in the...
Four of us, Fred, Harley, Jim, and myself, had been bowling, the usual for Thursday night.
Say, how about stopping by the Hideaway?
I'd never had any real trouble, and that was my trouble. Maybe I'd have gotten wise if I hadn't always been able to skin through.
Ah, not bad. This seems exactly what we've been looking for.
From here, it looks great. Just what we need.
I think we should be able to wrap up our work here in a day.
And this'll look good.
Now, curiosity has to be satisfied. And why not? It can't do any harm to look.
What a view.
Hey, we don't want to lose you.
Sure looks gloomy. How would you girls like to have a castle this old to live in?
You'd have to be a creep to live in a place like this.
To John, the party is swinging. Just the thing he needs to pep him up. The stage is set, the principal players are in position, the curtain is up. John doesn't realize it, but he has just been cast as the star fall guy in a real-life tragedy.
I'd love to have a house like this all for myself. Imagine the peace and beauty of living all alone here.
You're a funny one, all right.
What's wrong? Are you tired?
I don't know what it is, Perry. I just feel very uneasy.
No.
There's not much use wishing we'd gone home earlier. Except, somehow or other, we had more to drink than we intended.
Susie,
Let me alone, Raoul.
don't be like that, baby.
Everybody'll see us.
Have it your way.
Are you all dead?
Lay you any odds you want, our dear publisher will wind up saying, this place isn't suitable after all, let's go home.
Hello, is everybody out?
If they're all out, how can anyone be in the house?
The brain has spelled it out.
I'm not just a dumb blonde, you know.
Who says you're a blonde?
Must be in.
Hello, why doesn't anybody answer? Maybe nobody lives here.
Outside the boundaries of their phony world of kicks is the ever-present possibility of discovery. This must be avoided at all costs, for discovery brings with it the penalties of society: shame, arrest, prison.
What a nuisance. Someone should have told me the castle's empty. We might as well try to get in anyway. Maybe one of the boys could scale that wall.
That's a job for Tarzan.
Who's going to volunteer to climb the wall?
Okay. Here comes Uncle Perry, the greatest acrobat in the world.
The next step is the garage. There, some of the gang are really blasting. That's where the real action is. Come on and take a look.
Take care, Perry.
Most young people will continue through life as normal, responsible citizens. Others, the shunted and unloved, the unguided, The seekers of thrills and kicks are candidates for the slave world of lifelong drug addiction.
What about that?
I still think you're playing with fire.
You should know me by now. I'm not the kind of man to let obstacles get in my way. I'm a man of action.
Well, what do we do now?
We follow the leader. What else?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the old family.
Let's go.
This time, the gang's lucky. It's not the law, or discovery, or problems. It's just their supplier, Pete, with his #1 chick, and a new guy looking for kicks. Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville.
Hey, what a funny place this is. Looks like a Frankenstein film set.
Inhibition and caution are forgotten. When Helen suggests they have a few more beers, he's all for it. Why not? Everyone else is doing it. To refuse would be square, and that terrible label must be avoided at all costs. Besides, he's never been high on it before, and he never will. He can handle the stuff.
Perry, there's something evil about this castle. I'm sure of it.
You Hawaiians are far too impressionable, Kinuyo.
Pete and Helen know their parts well. They've been through it before, and they know the time is right. Throw out the sucker bait. It's time for the next step.
You idiot! Why must you play these childish jokes all the time? Raoul. Raoul, take off that silly costume.
Out of the slime and darkness it comes to inflict its life-destroying poison on the careless, the unwary, the unprotected.
These uninhabited castles always have their family skeletons.
Uninhabited? There's not a trace of dust around here.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
I'm very sorry. Nobody answered the doorbell, and we thought the castle was empty. Could we speak to the owner? I'd like a word with him about a business matter. Could you take us to him?
Follow me.
Let's go.
Each time he feels the need for kicks or he's troubled, he returns to marijuana.
Stop where you are. How dare you force your way into my castle like this? What do you want here?
I want to apologize. We didn't think anyone lived here, that's all.
It's no excuse for trespassing. I don't like having my privacy disturbed.
I'm sorry, sir. You're quite right. My name is Parks. I'd like to explain. We've been scouting for suitable locations to photograph material for book jackets. I'm a publisher.
That's no concern of mine.
Look here, I'd like to show you one of my books. I'm preparing an anthology of horror.
He told you to stay where you were.
We took the liberty of coming in here, only because no one answered our knocking at the door.
I don't like intrusion. I insist that you leave my castle immediately.
Could you make just one exception? We've been on the road for several days. Everybody's so tired.
I don't want any visitors here.
I'd be only too glad to pay, of course.
Pay? Now you're beginning to annoy me, Mr. Parks.
I know my friend didn't mean to offend you, and we ask you to forgive us.
Compared to Pete's problems, John's are nothing. Poor grades, expulsion from the team, the frustrations and responsibilities of growing up seem important only to himself.
But we have no choice. We've been told to go, and that's it. Let's get moving quickly, huh?
Edith. Wait.
Their accidental meeting calls for a little celebration, and Pete has just the thing. There's a little private party going on tonight, plenty of fun and laughs.
Perhaps I was a little too hasty, Mr. Parks. I'm not usually so inhospitable. I realize you must all be very tired. You see, I don't usually receive people. You can stay here overnight, but I'll have to ask you to leave first thing in the morning.
Thank you, sir. We really do appreciate your kind hospitality. Do you mind if we take a few pictures?
It's the best excuse in the world to join the party.
All right. But please remember, I don't like to be disturbed. My servants will show you the chambers where you can do your work.
Perfect. Let's get to work, girls. We mustn't waste any time. Go and change quickly. Dermot, you'd better check out the setting we need. Edith, you go along with him. Good girl.
Come on, Edith. Don't go near the dungeons. They're absolutely out of bounds for everybody.
Okay, we won't. Get moving, Dermot. We're in a hurry.
Here, the connection can be found with these peddlers of misery who prey on the unwary, the uninformed, the curious, the thrill seekers.
I'll bet Max will flip over this one. Can you imagine finding a thing like this here? Wasn't it lucky?
I'll take credit for that. I found it.
Yeah.
Food for everybody.
Hey, Max, I want a bonus for finding this thing.
All right, we'll see about the bonuses. Now eat
It'll
quickly,
be
huh?
perfect for the Skeletrix series.
In uniform so neat, each one demure and sweet. What we serve will be a treat. Here's the place to eat. So every time you make a call, your tips may be large or small. Sometimes there are none at all. Still, we're always at your service. When you travel near or far, drive up in your motor car. You can sit right where you are, for we're always at your service. It's always been our boast. We're known from coast to coast, from a pickle to a roast. We're the nation's host.
How's the food?
Terrible.
As usual. Bottle of wine, they call it. It tastes like water. Yeah, it's awful, isn't it? But I know where we can find real wine. I discovered where the cellar is. Come on, I'll show you.
See ya.
Come on, Larry.
All he needs is a little help, a little guidance, a little understanding. But the help, the guidance, the understanding are not there when he needs it. His parents are away just when he was counting on them to be home.
You'll wake up the ghosts. Come on. This way.
Hello, my friends. Are you enjoying the movie so far? Oh, yes, bloody pit of horror. What a bloody good time. Oh, yes. Anyway, this is my landlord's storage room, and I was hoping to find something to help me survive tonight. Yes, that's right. I'm out of food, and, well, there's nothing, I have no money, and so, well, I'm going to try and conjure up something to eat. Oh, when one is in the wild, one must do what it takes to survive. Don't you agree? Oh, well, anyway, let's see if we can... Oh, I have a key. I do have a key. I just have misplaced it, so... And my landlord's give me total permission to do whatever I need to do, so just a second here. Well, you take a break, and I'll meet you in the storage room.
Return now to the Basement Sublet of Horror.
Oh, hello, my friends. I'm just doing a little scavenging in my landlord's storage room, because I know somewhere here, somewhere, is the bucket of spare keys with keys to all the doors upstairs. Anyway, so yes, I'm on a food safari night. I have no money, and so I'm scavenging up in my landlord's apartment for food. So anyway, we'll be back in a moment, or take a break, or you go back to the movie. I can't keep track of all this stuff. What do you expect me to do? Host the show? You expect me to be responsible for your viewing? Really?
Hold it. Where the mail order made you've ordered by parcel post, we come to you. Keep the one that you like best and then return the rest. For any one of us will bring a thrill so new.
Everything's ready, Dermot. Can I go?
Not more than a few minutes, though. Time's running short.
You bet. Come on, Susie.
Don't pull me like that.
Then come on.
But where?
Oh, come on.
Okay, I'm all set. Everybody out of the way. That's right. Hold that pose, Perry. Don't move. I'll be done in a minute. Now, here we go.
That first day, after I found out about my leg, I nearly went crazy. If Jim dies, it's my fault. If he dies, I killed him.
Raoul, didn't you hear that yell?
I didn't hear anything at all. Come along.
Where are you taking me?
You'll find out.
Look at that. What is it?
I don't know. Maybe it was an old torture cell. You know these old castles. Nothing in it.
Let me alone, Raoul. I'm scared.
Nothing seems right. Nothing seems real.
There's no point in disturbing my master. He's been informed already of what has happened down here. And he hopes that you will all remain calm.
The rope was badly worn, Rick. We overlooked that, I'm afraid.
Well, what are you going to do now?
I don't know.
Man, that's typical of the way I've always been, let's face it. All I've had on my mind was myself.
Tomorrow we notify the police.
What do you mean, tomorrow?
Listen, after all, it was only an accident. A tragic one, but an accident. And besides, it's too late now.
Look, Max, this double talk leaves me cold. What do you really mean?
Well, I'm an editor. You've got to see my point. I've a deadline to meet.
Only he can go just so far alone. During his childhood, he was loved, helped, protected. Suddenly, that's all gone. Now he's in a man's body, he's expected to be a man, to stand alone on his own 2 feet.
Rick, look at this.
Huh? What is it?
It's the negative of the photograph I took right when the accident occurred.
Oh, Perry. What a terrible thing. What's this? What's that strange shadow near the frame of the door? It almost looks like a man's head.
Yes, it does.
He's over the worst of it.
in the vicious racket that preys on human misery, there is no trust, no credit, no mercy.
Do you think the negative could have been defective?
No, it was perfect. May I see that photograph? I heard about the accident that took place tonight. A most appalling accident.
Unfortunately, it's blurred.
Yeah, it was out of focus.
Perhaps this will sound strange, but I've something to tell you that may provide an explanation of the shadow in your photograph. Have you ever heard of the Crimson Executioner?
He was a maniac and a killer who was put to death for his crimes centuries ago. He was buried in his own castle.
What you don't know is that this is the castle where the Crimson Executioner lived and died. When I came here, the castle had been uninhabited for centuries. For me, it was ideal because I desired solitude. Everybody else feared the curse that had been placed on it. When they sealed up his tomb, the Crimson Executioner swore that he would avenge himself. He was a man of extraordinary physical strength, obsessed by an ideal of purity. For centuries, he was entombed. There in the dungeons, and only a seal has protected mankind from his supernatural powers. If the shadow in the photograph is the Crimson Executioner, I fear anything might happen. I had to tell you.
Well, I can see you two already know each other.
I've never had the pleasure. This is the first time I've seen this lady. I must retire now. I'm a creature of habit.
What he doesn't know is behavior habits formed long ago are now taking over. The practice of putting things off, making excuses, shirking unpleasant tasks is strongly etched in his character.
They desecrated your world of beauty with their sordidness. The day of the Crimson Executioner has now come.
I've been wondering about the owner of this castle.
Well, if you want my opinion, I think he's slightly off his nut.
You would be, too. If you lived isolated in this place, you'd end up the same way he is. Hey, Dermot.
Yeah?
Look at this. This must be where the executioner was killed, if the legend is true.
What is it? It looks like a coffin.
No, it was a medieval instrument of torture. The infamous Iron Maiden.
Susie! What?
I don't really know what happened. I got around the car at an intersection, and... No one can dare say that this was an accident. If Jim goes, what about Margie, his wife, his widow? What about his children? What can I do? Just as I thought, the rope wasn't worn. It was cut. At this point, there's only one explanation.
With a police record to haunt him as long as he lives, John uses the leniency of the law sometimes allowed first offenders. So, he enters a government hospital for the very best treatment modern science can give.
Any idea where Raoul is?
Raoul?
No, I don't mean he had anything to do with this. He was always so active. and always involved in sports, who spent so much of his time playing tennis.
What are you going to do? Stay here? With a murderer at large, you're all in danger.
I know, but it's impossible to leave with things as they are. And we've got to find Raoul. He might have some evidence.
I'll be as fast as I can.
How much longer do we have to wait now?
We get paid. Why should you care?
Yeah, you get prettier by the minute, girls. Take a look at this, Max. I have a new idea. I don't want the girls to know this yet. Susie's been murdered.
What's that?
Oh, no!
So you like the idea?
Oh, sure. It's great.
We'd better watch out. Dermot's already on his way to the police station. Don't tell the girls. They'd only get panicky.
But then Perry was killed, too.
We completely agree.
Well, what do we do now?
I'll have a look around. You better stay with the girls. See you later.
But Pete isn't interested in sometime or maybe or squares. If you want to swing, call him. Right now, he's got to split. He's got to find fish ready to be hooked.
What are you doing here?
I want to see your master right away.
No, he doesn't want to see anybody.
It's urgent that I see him no matter what, understand?
I said you can't see him.
Edith.
Take a trip from Squaresville. Live a little and see what it's like for yourself. The senses are dulled just enough to be reckless. Helen, the music, the beer, the promise of excitement press in on him.
I want you to see what I found. I'm sure you recognize her.
Edith, what's your portrait doing in this castle? Then you do know the owner.
Yes, Travis and I were engaged. Travis Anderson.
Isn't he the actor who disappeared several years ago?
Yes, he used to be a muscle man in costume films.
And a woman's love. Would have destroyed me.
It all happened so suddenly, so unexpectedly.
No sane person would deliberately expose himself.
It's because of that. I abandoned you.
No intelligent person would venture within striking distance of its fangs.
He left without a word. He just vanished. He's always been a little strange. Even with me, he seemed so cold. Yet I'm certain that he really loved me. In all this time, I haven't stopped wondering why he ever disappeared like that. Now I found him here in this castle. I thought I recognized his voice, and now that I've found this, I know it's Travis. I must try to speak to him.
Edith, we have no time for that. You've got to trust me.
What is it?
I'll tell you later. Where's Cornelia?
I left her downstairs when I went to find Travis.
There's not a moment to lose. We must find her.
Ah, yes, my friends, I've found a few keys, and as you know, adventure is where you look for it. I'm at my landlord's door, and oh yes, he's given me full permission to enter whenever I want to, whenever he's not around. Of course. So anyway, I think I have a key here. You go and take a break, and I'm going to see if I can, I'm going to go inside. We'll be back in a moment.
And now back to the Basement Sublet of Horror.
Ah, yes, my friends. I'm on my food safari now, and I'm in my landlord's apartment, stocking the elusive foodstuffs. And oh, the lights are off. Well, of course, lights are off. I don't want to be saying. To save electricity, of course. Yes, well, anyway, I'm going to carry on now and look for food. And, well, I'll meet back up with you in a moment.
Canuyo! Canuyo!
Watch out, Rick. Don't try to get any closer to me or you'll get killed. There's no escape for me, I know it. You must save yourselves while there's still a chance. Don't you see? It's a diabolical trap.
They must exercise great care. Every object is a possible booby trap. Some booby traps are more alluring and ingenious than others. If you are a boob, you will be trapped.
It's impossible for anyone to reach me. These wires are connected to the bows on the wall. The slightest touch will release the arrows in every direction, and anyone nearby will be killed. Nobody can stop the mechanism that operates.
I wonder, could this be one of them there booby traps?
Could be. The spider. It has poison in its claws. I'll be killed the moment it reaches me. Now it's hopeless.
Boy! A piranha! I never could get that last note anywho.
Watch out, Rick. Don't do it, Rick. You'll be killed. Watch out, Rick. I tell you, it's hopeless. Don't do it, Rick. Leave me. It's no use.
In the meantime, sweat it out, pal. You wanted kicks? Now pay the price.
Rick!
Your jacket's caught!
Wish the hell you'd shut up. I ain't no boob and I won't be trapped.
Watch out, Rick.
Hiya, Toots. What cooks? Something new has been added. Booby traps.
Canuyo! Oh, Canuyo. What a horrible death. I've got to get her down from here. Edith, go find the others. Hurry up. You've got to get out of the castle at once. At once.
No, no, Rick, no. Not without you.
Do what I tell you.
Safe at last.
Go away, Edith. Go away. Don't worry about me. Dermot will be back here soon with the police.
It didn't seem very long until it was closing time. And by that time, it was too late. In more ways than one. He's got to be still alive.
They say Tom will be able to drive again.
Open the door! Let us out! Let us out!
It's no use. We've been locked in.
No! What'll we do?
Max! Max, what's happening? Where are the others?
I don't know, but don't lose your head.
By the time I got out on the road, Jim had the feeling we should have gone with the others in the cab. And I was beginning to feel the same way.
Rick! Rick, all the doors are locked. We can't get out.
Keep calm, Edith. We'll make it somehow. Just a minute.
Well, at least up here, I don't have to worry about no booby traps.
Edith! Edith!
It was the same thing when I'd had a few drinks. Again, I got away with it.
Travis!
Don't come any nearer. Don't touch me.
That other you, after a few drinks, may be personable and thoroughly charming.
You were the murderer. Now I know it, Travis. How could you? You're a monster!
Those same few drinks that bring out the best in your personality can only accentuate your worst habits.
Mankind is made up of inferior creatures, spiritually and physically deformed, who would have corrupted the harmony of my perfect body. And a woman's love would have destroyed me.
Travis, you've lost your sanity. You're an egotist, obsessed with your sick thoughts.
According to the experts in such matters, the first senses affected by alcohol are our sense of judgment and our sense of right and wrong.
I know of only one who was never overcome by weakness. The Crimson Executioner. He despised your world as passionately as I do. Look at him. Look at him.
The night I took the road that always leads to trouble. Highball Highway.
His magnificent body was preserved intact through all these centuries undisturbed.
The little problems he has don't seem too important. He knows he's failing in English and on the borderline in math, but he's not really worried. He knows he'll be okay on the next exam.
His spirit lives in me, and I'll continue his mission of vengeance. This is the sacred duty I've sworn to. We're alike.
Sure, before the last exam, he took a couple of bennies to pep him up, but so what? Everybody knows a couple can't do any harm.
Now that you have profaned his tomb and broken the seal that imprisoned his great spirit. His power has been released.
But I wanted to get home, and I wanted to get Jim home. We haven't been home yet.
And now, at last, you'll witness the glory of his return.
He gave in without too much argument.
And you'll pay just like the others.
Travis! Don't do it! Come back!
Now you'll be punished for your lechery.
Everyone seems to be having fun. Best of all, there are no parents, no other adults, no one to interfere with the fun.
The Crimson Executioner will torture you. Yes, will torture you till death.
Playmate, come out and play with me, and bring your dollies three, climb up my apple tree. Playmate, come out and play with me, and bring your dollies three, climb up my apple tree, look down my rainbow, slide down my cellar door, and we'll be jolly friends forevermore.
That's just a small portion of the torture that awaits you.
Hello, my friends. I've successfully survived my food safari. You know, that's my landlord. He's a little annoyed with me right now. But anyway, I've got my food. So hopefully he won't evict me. But anyway, you take a break and I'm going to start my feast. We return now to the basement sublet of horror. Ah, yes, nothing like a little cracker. Oh, you hear him up there? My landlord. Oh, he's still baying like a hound. Oh, he's still quite mad at me. Quite mad indeed. Anyway, I'm just enjoying my little snack here, and oh, how's the movie going? I haven't watched a frame of it tonight. Bloody Pit of Horror. Is it very good? Oh, you're not talking to me either. Well, go off the movie then. I'll just sit here and eat my food. You're evicted for this. You're out on the street. I've had enough of you and your silly games.
I've got to admit that Jim was the steadier of the two of us. He got married first. Maybe I'd have gotten wise if I hadn't always been able to skin through. I know there's nothing to it, but as long as that bed is empty, I feel that Jim will come back. I don't know how many times, especially on hunting trips, I was just plain lucky. And when hunting, I could cover more rough country than any of them.
Let me go! Let me go! No! No!
If you're looking for a mate and you want to make a date with a girl that's never late, we're always at your service.
No! No! Don't do this to me!
But I got away with some pretty bad habits, even when Laurie was with me. Like going too fast in the wrong places.
Large and small ones every size. Some are dumb and some are wise. We don't have to advertise that we're always at your service.
We won't pour soup down your back. Coffee don't taste like shellac. This drive-in is not a shack, and we're always at your service. Oh, my God! The Crimson Executioner!
No! Go away! I am the Crimson Executioner! It's impossible. It can't be.
Large and small ones every size. Some are dumb and some are wise. We don't have to advertise that we're always at your service.
You'll have to try again.
If you're looking for a mate and you want to make a date with a girl that's never late, we're always at your service.
Kill him! Go on! Go on! Kill him, I said! Kill him!
Are you all asleep over there? Get behind that camera, Dermot.
Watch out, Rick! Watch out, Rick.
My perfect body. In the poisonous clutches of the lover of death.
Lori, my wife, told me they don't expect Jim to live.
Rick.
My body. My pure body. Has been contaminated. The body of the Crimson Executioner.
He was completely mad.
Anderson, in his folly, created the legendary executioner in his own image. The Crimson Executioner's been dust for centuries.
It was terrible. Please take me away from this castle. It was a nightmare.
I won't write any more horror stories. The man that said life is stranger than fiction made no mistake.
Ah, yes. just enjoying more crackers here. One feels much better when one has a full belly. Yes, and I bet you're full from that movie. Oh, Bloody Pit of Horror. Oh, it had everything, didn't it? Well, anyway, I'll be back next week, friends, with another movie. Ah, yes, my landlord. Well, if he doesn't evict me, it sounds like he's still rather mad. Mad, I tell you. I'll be back next week with another movie for you. And until then, good night, my friends.
So stay out of trouble. If you drink, don't drive. And if you drive, don't drink.